Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue our next topic of the radioactive waste, that is control and management. So what all things should be considered in order to manage this waste, radioactive waste? The first point is global banning of the nuclear weapons. So when whole world come together and they will decide that there should be a ban in the nuclear weapons, either maybe the production of the weapons or related with the you can say that testing of the weapons. So these things which is normally not done in today's world, because all of the country want to become on safe side, so they used to produce the or test the nuclear weapons. Next is the safe disposal of the nuclear power plant. So the waste is already it is stored. Now we have to dispose it very safely, and this disposal should be the proper way. Next is the proper dumping of the radioactive materials. So we have to dump it in a proper way. So proper dumping of the radioactive material should be done. And next is the worker which is handling the radioactive material. RN means nothing but the radioactive material. The worker which is handling the radioactive materials required to undertake protection measures. The certain workers which is who are working in the premises of radioactive material, there they must work with a certain safety measures during the working hours in the nuclear power plant premises. This is nuclear, NUCLEAR, nuclear plant premises. Next is IAEC. IAEC stands for International Atomic Energy Commission. So this is the abbreviated form of International Atomic Energy Commission, that is IAEC. So what is IAEC? It is nothing but a big organization, and it used to set up a standard. ये एक बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जो कि एक स्टैंडर्ड और एक गाइडलाइन सेटअप करती है फॉर द सेड पर्पसेस. मीन्स हाउ टू मैनेज द और कंट्रोल द रेडियोएक्टिव वेस्ट, एंड दिस इज डन बाय मीन्स ऑफ नथिंग बट द ICRP. मीन्स व्हाट? So ICRP means International Commission on Radiological Protection, as we have already discussed in the last slide. So it makes a recommendation to protect both the worker in profession and general public. इनका काम क्या होता है? It protects the worker who are working in the premises of the nuclear power plant as well as the general public. So International Atomic Energy Commissions, they used to set up certain guidelines, and ICRP used to check whether these guidelines is followed or not. And ICRP, it follows a general principles that was set up in 1980. That was key. First point is to be considered under this principle. First principle is that no practice shall be adopted unless there is produces positive benefits. मतलब कोई भी ऐसा प्रैक्टिस नहीं होना चाहिए जिसमें कि बहुत ज़्यादा benefits नहीं हो. So if any causes many benefits and less of the drawbacks, then this practice can be given permission. Next one is that all exposure shall be low as reasonably achievable economic and social. जितने भी exposure release होंगे ते सारे should be transformed into the low, and that means it says that it should not be hazardous to the human health, and it should be economical and the social. Next is that the dose to which an individual is exposed, जो कि dose release होंगे and the exposing should not exceed the limit. So whatever the waste is generated, that generated waste should not be harm to the, should not considered to be which should not be harm for the human health. Next, coming up to the protection measures. So certain protection measures should be considered while handling this radioactive waste. So what are the protection measures? First one is that the waste which is generated from the nuclear power plant are either liquid, solid, or should be treated properly. So the waste which is generated from the nuclear power plant से जो भी waste generate हुआ है radioactive waste, वो either solid form में हो या फिर liquid form में हो, they should be properly treated. Why? Otherwise they will contaminate the environment. अगर हमने अच्छी तरह treat नहीं किया तो क्या हो जाएगा? It will contaminate the rest of the environment. Next one is that कि if the radioactive waste is in the form of a liquid, अगर ये liquid form में waste available है तो क्या करेंगे हम? This should be treated through flocculation, precipitation, sorption, filtration and ion exchange process. ये तो different process है जिसके through हम liquid को हम treat कर सकते हैं. So the radioactive waste which are in the liquid form can be you can say that treated through different methods. Next one is that कि incinerated or the disposed underground. If third point is that कि if the waste is in the form of solid, अगर आपका वेस्ट जो है सॉलिड वेस्ट है देन दिस वेस्ट इज टू बी इंसिनरेटेड. ये जो वेस्ट को हमें इंसिनरेट करना पड़ेगा या फिर लास्ट ऑप्शन दैट इज वी हैव टू डिस्पोज इन द अंडरग्राउंड. बट दिस डिस्पोजल शुड बी सील्ड. हम जो डिस्पोज करेंगे हम डायरेक्टली इसको डिस्पोज नहीं करेंगे. दिस शुड बी सील्ड इन ए स्पेशल सील्डेड टैंक्स एंड A&D and dug deep in the ground. So first the waste which is generated, it may be either liquid form या होने दो ये solid form, they should be properly treated. First thing is protection should be taken. Next one is that if it is in the form of liquid form, different type of process can be done or treatment process can be done. Third one is that if the solid waste is generated, it should be incinerated or it should be disposed of. If it is to be disposed of, they should be disposed in a sealed tanks or deep in the ground. So the waste which is consisting of the radioactive waste that is finally to be disposed of, and they should be sealed in a special sealed tank. You know that. So it should be sealed in a special sealed tanks that should be consisting of the steel. ये जो स्टील में उसे डिस्पोज या स्टोर किया जाता है and then it is disposed. But before disposing, the chambers, they are kept in chambers, one in a stack manner, one above the another. But the chamber should be 60 meter deep. It should be at least 60 meter below the surface, and the steel drum, it should be covered by means of the concrete. So if this is the steel drum which is consisting of the radioactive waste, it should be steel drum and then it should be covered by the concrete. And after the filling of the chambers, the chamber should be sealed off. The chamber should be sealed off. In this way, we have to pack this radioactive waste and then dispose underground. Now coming up to the next slide, that is uranium mines. You must know where all in India uranium mines are located. So you must know that certain places in India where these mines are located. So the mining and processing of uranium ores and mineral sands are done by the Uranium Corporation of India Limited. So in short form you can say that it is UCIL. So you can say that the mining and processing of uranium ores and mineral sands are normally done by the Uranium Corporation of India Limited, that is normally denoted by UCIL, and Indian Rare Earth Limited, that is IREL, means Indian Rare Earth Limited. So these are the two main sites or certain organization which used to which used to does the mining and the processing of the radioactive material. So you can find out certain names is given, that is Jaduguda, Bhatin and Narwapahar. So these are the three most important places where mining of uranium is done, and all of the three is located in the Jharkhand. So you can say that Jharkhand is a state where the mining of the uranium is done. And regarding the Jaduguda, it is considered normally it is considered to be the first uranium mines. So it is the first uranium mines in India, and normally the deposit discovered in 1957. In 1957 it was first discovered, and then it came into the operation in 1967. So related to the Jaduguda, you can say that it is one of the uranium mines where the mining of uranium is done, and it is the first uranium mines in India. Now coming up to the next one, that is said to be Narwapahar. Narwapahar, it is also located in the Jharkhand, but something different about the Narwapahar is that कि Narwapahar जो है, it is the mine, it is the first fully mechanized mine. तो Narwapahar एक fully mechanized mine है, and it is operating since 1995 से ये operate कर रहा है. So you can say that in Jharkhand most of the uranium mines are located. And regarding the Tarapur, you must know something related to Tarapur also. So what is Tarapur? Tarapur is again a atomic power station. Tarapur is an atomic power station. So Tarapur, it is an atomic power station. So here it is a fuel reprocessing plant. So here in case of the Jharkhand, these are the mines of the uranium where the mining of the uranium is done. And Jaduguda is the first uranium mines. But regarding the processing plant, fuel processing plant, so it is located in Trombay, Tarapur and Kalpakkam. And regarding the Tarapur, it is said to be here, there is a big atomic power station, and it is present near the Boisar, Thane district. And it is considered to be the India first atomic power project. So it is the first atomic power project. So besides uranium mining and fuel reprocessing plant, waste management facilities also done in India, and it exists in Rajasthan and Kalpakkam. Coming up to the next slide. So in this slide you can find out there are different type of nuclear reactor. These are the different location where the nuclear reactors has been installed in India, which are Tarapur, Rajasthan, Kalpakkam, Narora, Kakrapara and Kaigaon. So these are the different locations where the nuclear reactors has been installed. So here in case of Tarapur, there are two numbers of bioreactors. Boiler water reactors are available, and it is having the capacity of 160. Similarly, What is PHWR? It is nothing but the pressurized heavy water reactor. So this is the boiling water reactor, and this is pressurized heavy water reactors. So we can find out these are the different sites where nuclear reactors are present. So there are 8 more reactors under construction at Tarapur, even in Kaiga, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, etc., etc. So after this construction, certain amount of radioactive waste is generated, that is certain only. So the radioactive materials are which are discharged. So during certain activities, either during the processing or by means of the generation of atomic power plant, certain amount of waste has been discharged, and this discharge is nothing but the certain high level of the radioactive materials, and these radioactive materials are considered to be very hazardous for the human health, and these liberated during the leaching of the minerals. During the leaching of the minerals, during this activity we can find out there is a liberation of radium as well as the potassium, and many more radioactive materials they used to liberate. From the atomic reactors, certain heavy metals or certain radioactive materials such as cobalt, manganese 54 and ions are liberated, which is very harmful. And next, during the neutron bombardment of atomic fuel, there you can find plutonium, cesium, zinc and rubidium, which are very dangerous to the human being. So we have to take certain precautions before when we are subjected to a certain type of radiations, and we must know right from the radioactive waste, what are radioactive waste, what are nuclides, what are the sources, what are the different classification categories, how they are classified. Now the last one, that is control and measurement. So what all measurement precautions we must take, that is comes under the control and measurement. So with this we have completed the topic of radioactive waste. Thank you. See you tomorrow.